Welcome back to Reddit Story Time. Today we have 4 incredible stories. Let's dive right in.
Story number 1. Boss said my team shouldn't go away. Challenge accepted. Story number 1. Boss said my team should not go away. Challenge accepted. Our storyteller was a remote IT developer at a tech company. Within his first couple of months, he had automated so much of his workload that he genuinely had almost nothing left to do most days. Everything that could be scripted, monitored, or scheduled was. One morning, his manager messaged him, "We have noticed your Microsoft Teams keeps going to away every 20 minutes. This should not be happening if you are at your desk working." Fair enough, thought our storyteller. He replied, understood. My teams will never go away again, and he meant it. Instead of arguing, he spent about 40 minutes writing a PowerShell script that launched a harmless train of processes every few minutes. Mouse clicking, alt-tabbing, simulated activity just enough to keep his status green. He set it to repeat every 10 minutes. He tested it. Available. 5 minutes later, still available. An hour later, still available. Then he grabbed his backpack, walked out of Starbucks, and spent the rest of the afternoon and every afternoon thereafter hiking. His team's status never went away again. The next time he heard from his boss, the manager was reviewing status times and actually thanked him for his dedication. Verdict: automated genius. When a company measures presence instead of output, the smart move is to game the metric while living your best life.
And the verdict, automated genius.
Story number 2. Influencer wants free training for exposure. Gets what she paid for. Story number 2. How to deal with influencers who ask to be paid in exposure. Our storyteller runs a small fitness consultancy business. He mostly relies on word of mouth, so he does not usually deal with difficult clients. Then along came Jiggy. Mid-20s, decent follower count, local influencer. She sent a direct message saying she wanted to lose weight and tighten up for summer. Our storyteller was intrigued. Maybe her connections could help his business. How wrong he was. The initial consultation was standard. He asked about her exercise, history, and diet, then got to work on her meal and exercise plan. Then came the matter of payment. He had mentioned early on that he typically charges $50 for his plans. Either Jiggy did not read that, or she decided to play dumb. When he reminded her of the price, she said, and I quote, "I was wondering whether you would be interested in getting yourself some exposure instead of payment." Our storyteller actually considered it for a moment. But after talking to friends, he snapped out of it and insisted on the price. Jiggy accepted, begrudgingly. The plan consisted of exercises and recipes designed to help her lose weight, but our storyteller decided to maliciously comply with the exposure arrangement. He posted about the entire experience on a public forum, including screenshots of the conversation, with names changed. The post went viral. Thousands of people read about Jiggy, the influencer, who wanted free training. Jiggy got her exposure after all, just not the kind she was hoping for. Verdict: exposure earned. When someone offers exposure as payment, give them exposure of exactly what they did.
And the verdict, exposure earned.
Story number 3. Arrogant actress demands free resume update. Gets honest skills listed. Story number 3. Arrogant actress demands free resume update. There was a woman named Helen who claimed she was an actress. In the time our storyteller knew her, her story kept changing. She had all this experience, yet she did not seem to know the basics about the industry. But if someone had a resource she wanted, she treated them like they were the light of her life. But only for the moment. She used people as stepping stones, then discarded them the second they were no longer useful. On top of being a self-centered blowhard with almost no verifiable experience, her resume was more fake than a $3 bill. Her headshots were so out of date that she substituted overly edited camera phone selfies with heavy filters. Shortly before our storyteller cut contact, Helen demanded that he beautify her resume and make it appear more professional. Translation: exaggerate and lie to make her false claims look believable, so he maliciously complied. It was a test to see if she would actually review it before sending it out. Deep down, he knew she would not. Under special skills, he added Master of the Dunning-Kruger effect, expert at gaslighting, and embodies a supercilious manner. He emailed it back. Helen, true to form, did not read it. She sent it out to casting directors and agents without checking a single word. Our storyteller is still waiting to hear how that worked out for her. Verdict: karma in writing. When someone demands you lie for them, telling the truth in their own resume is the most elegant revenge possible.
And the verdict, karma in writing.
Story number 4. No more electric poles. Okay, no more electricity for you. Story number 4. I guess no more electric poles. Our storyteller's godfather owns a small cattle ranch out in the countryside. About 20 or 25 years ago, he needed electricity to power a water pump for his cows. The nearest place to connect to the grid was on the opposite side of the ranch, about 1.5 miles away, so he paid out of his own pocket to have utility poles installed across his property to carry the power line. Fast forward to the present day. The utility company decided they needed to run new lines through the area. They told the godfather they would be installing poles on his property. He said, "Fine, but you need to pay an easement fee since these are my poles on my land." The utility company refused. They said the poles were on their right-of-way. The godfather pointed out that he had paid for every single pole himself, and the original agreement was for his personal use only. The utility company's lawyer sent a formal letter stating that the poles were now considered part of the grid infrastructure and that the godfather could not interfere with them. They also demanded he stop asking for payment. So the godfather said, "Fine. If they are your poles, they are your problem." He then informed them that since they had claimed ownership of the poles, he was exercising his right as the property owner to revoke the easement for any poles that were not part of his original agreement. In other words, remove your poles or pay me. The utility company realized they had made a massive legal error by claiming ownership of poles they had not paid for. They ended up settling with the godfather for a significant sum and paying him an annual easement fee going forward. Verdict: power move. When a bureaucracy tries to claim what is yours, let them. Then make them live with the consequences.
And the verdict, power move.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. See you next time.